It was cold enough last night that I kept the wood stove going pretty good rate, you know, all night long. So that meant I had some good hot water this morning. So started my day off with a nice bath and fresh change of clothes. It did get a little ice on the water this morning, so it dropped down just below freezing. Now here's the first walk of the day. Try to go up north to the big beaver pond and get in some sunshine and enjoy it while it's here. Here we're approaching the corduroy lane that I laid in a number of years ago. It was always so wet. I do a lot of paddling up in Canada, and some of the portage trails they put down, like they call this riprap, and putting logs across, but they don't have white cedar and they don't last. A few years they rot away and they punch through. If they had this white cedar, they could do it once and be done. I'm not going to stop this morning, but all of this stuff is made to come up and enjoy the country as much as you possibly can. A little wildlife opening that I developed there. This is the start of where I bring my brush cutter up with a grass blade on it, swing it back and forth and knock all this stuff down. When I come by this area, I clear off this stand in the area. This is where I have to bring my solar panels in the wintertime. You can see how the sun was just ready to start hitting where they'd be sitting right now. At the cabin in the wintertime, the sun just never hits them. Now we found the sun. Doesn't look like much of a beaver dam anymore. They pulled out, but I did find where they went. They're only about a quarter of a mile away, and they're in a lot better spot. There's two springs flow together down there, so they've got plenty of water even in these dry times. I imagine by next year there'll be a really big lake in that area. I don't think that sharp-shinned hawk would mess with this kingfisher. Just the fact that kingfisher's up here at this beaver pond says that there's some minnows in there. Enough, the water stays here long enough, been here long enough, that there's a minnow population. As you can hear, everything is still frozen. Kind of a crunchy walk through here. But look how as soon as we get under the cover of these cedar trees, it's warmer in there and there is no frost, and that's one of the reasons the deer yard up out in this kind of country. It's a little bit warmer. The snow gets caught up on top of those cedars, and so the snow is never as deep. It's only 9:30. It's been a very productive day so far. Those otters were sure a special treat. I very seldom get to see them, much less have the camera ready to get pictures of them. I gotta tell you, I wish I'd brought along a hot thermos of tea. Thinking about the rest of that coffee sitting on top of the stove. I think I'll go back and get warmed up a little bit. I'll have to make a note to myself that next time the weather's going to change that much during the night, I gotta take that rain gauge in. It's froze up solid. You can see it's almost 10 o'clock and the sun still hasn't got down to my solar panels. Still pretty frosty on them. All that fresh rainwater I had, I did up and got my work pants scrubbed up yesterday. I guess I better take them inside, let them dry out. The joy of returning to a nice wood stove on a morning like this. It's beautiful out there, but it's still crisp. I have a feeling I better enjoy these beautiful fall colors because with the weather forecast what's coming up, a lot of these leaves may be on the ground in a few days. Some of the locals call this portion of the trail into the cabin the bowling alley. I never understood why until I cut the brush along the sides and found there's a gutter that runs up both sides. So the bowling alley was a very apt name for this portion of the trail. Here you can see on the left picture here the gutter that came down to help drain this, keep this roadway a little drier. Then there was a side channel that went off to the side to help drain things, and in the later years I have cleaned it out a little bit to keep the water flowing away. This is such a beautiful scene, and there's so much more going on here than you can actually see in the picture. An immature bald eagle is soaring overhead. Whether it'd be fruitless for me to try to get a good shot of him. The trees are especially to the left here, that's full of juncos. They're kind of feeding and I think enjoying some morning sun. We're on the last quarter mile of the return of the hike back to the cabin. We went out about 1.5 miles, turned around. Got out there in some bright sunlight, a lot of nice colors. Now we're back down into the green timber, we might say. I've never seen so many juncos flitting around ever back here. Sun's still shining bright. Still a beautiful day. This old lane's been used for 100 years to get back into the cabin area. But it runs through these bogs, and I've never had a chance to drive back here. And the previous hunters that had it said in all their time, one time they drove back all the way. Otherwise in here you just sink to your axles. Keeping it fast and simple tonight. It was my day off, but I gave in and did a couple hours of my brush cutter out on the trail to get it done. Felt like it might snow. Trying to get some chores done before that happens. These are my nice tender, these are venison steaks, and kind of double dip them in the egg and flour. Chicken fry them up. I find they really taste good that way. Just could have a little Idaho loaded instant mashed potatoes to finish off the meal, and we're going to be in good shape. Another fantastic day at the cabin. It closes where it started. In the dim light, sitting next to the wood stove.